Don't come to France. Do not come to France. I'm not joking. Don't even try. If you're not ready to suffer, don't come to France, please. You're gonna regret. You're gonna regret because this is a country where you're gonna suffer a lot. A lot, especially if you want to build a new life from scratch. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Abdul Halim from Comoros. I've moved from Comoros to France to start a new life from scratch here in France. I came here in 2019. I was 24. Now I'm 31, getting old. Look at white hair, getting bald soon. So now I'm a father of 11-month-old baby, and I'm working here, starting to build a new life slowly. So in my videos I share about life in France, traveling, and I share the journey of my becoming. I share my story because I'm somebody who would like to travel the world, and through this channel, step by step, I'm gonna show you that to realize your dream is possible if you really focus, if you really want it. There are a lot of people who think that France is a very easy country where you can come, you build a new life, suddenly you become successful, you thrive, you have a beautiful life. Sorry to disappoint you, but that's not the reality. The reality is that France is a very difficult country. Yes, France is a very difficult country, especially for people who would like to start a new life from scratch, like me. It is a beautiful country indeed. Yes, it's a beautiful country to come for tourism, but if you want to live here for a long term, France is very difficult. Because sometimes you see people in Paris, you see tourists in Paris, videos in Paris, you think that France, yes, that's paradise, everything is easy, life is, vive la vie en rose. But really, if you want to stay in France and make it your second home, believe me, you're gonna do like this. And it's not only France, it's like this everywhere in the world. It's always easy to travel for tourism, visit some countries for 2 to 3 months, 2 weeks. But if you really want to stay in a country for the long term, start over everything, it's not always easy. But France has something special. It's super difficult. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that France is a bad country. No, France is a beautiful country. I love France. This is why I'm making it my second home. But I want to make this video to show people who would like to relocate to France that it's not always easy. There are a lot of challenges, and it's not only France but everywhere in the world. If you want to relocate in a country that is not yours, there are always struggles. But today I'm going to share the struggles you're going to face here in France as somebody who would like to move, change country, relocate to France. The first thing you should know is that France has very low salaries. Yes, it's very important to know that because many people think that France has big salaries, because this is a European country, everything here is okay. Salaries are big. That's not the case, my friends. If you face the reality in France, you realize that maybe that would be better if you have stayed in your country. The minimum wage in France is 1,426 euros. That's nothing. If you have 2,000 euros, you are very lucky. This is what will shock you. If you get the salary per month, you will see brut and net. You can get something like 2,025 euros. But that's the brut. And in your bank account, you will see only 1,424 euros. That's nothing. If you want to pay the bills, you want to pay the rent, you want to pay for food, you want to pay for transportation, believe me, at the end of the month, you have nothing in your bank account. They have something called découvert, which means you can still use your credit card even if you don't have money in it. You can still use it. But when you get your salary, it will be reduced because you have been using your credit card. So you have to pay that money back. Salaries are low, so the only choice you have is to still use your credit card and have minus in your bank account. So this is to tell you that if you are thinking of having big salaries, maybe you should try another country. But France, believe me or not, you won't get that big salaries you are expecting. Sure, there are some people who will say, oh yes, you have low salaries, but you have a lot of social benefits. Yes, that's true. There are a lot of social benefits in France, especially the healthcare system. But all of the social programs, they are not really free because you have to work in order to benefit from those programs. For example, the healthcare. Every month they are taking money from your salary to put in the healthcare, so that one day if you are sick, you can benefit from the program of the healthcare. So if you're not working, you can still benefit from the healthcare, but you are benefiting that program because of some other people have been working. They have been working and putting money in the healthcare system so that everybody will benefit. Health insurance here is free, but it's not really free because you are paying. People are paying it. People are working to pay for the healthcare, even if you don't see it directly. But every month, some money is taken from your salary to be added into the healthcare system. So it's not really free because you have to work for it. They have what we call congé payé, but the congé payé, you are working. If you're not working, you cannot get congé payé. So you have to work in order to get that benefit. They have what we call the compte professionnel de formation, compte CPF, compte professionnel de formation. It's a professional account of training. If you have that account, it means every year you will get 500 euros in your account. That 500 euros, you can use it to do a professional training or to pay for your driving license. So if you have been working the entire year, every April there will be 500 euros in that account. So if you do 3 years, you can have 1,500 euros because you have been working for 3 years full time. So you have that money in your account. You can use that money to do trainings. You cannot take it directly. You can take it to do some trainings, professional trainings, or to pay for your driving license. But that's not for free because you have been working full time the entire year, and they have been taking some money from your salary to add it into the what we call the compte CPF, professional account of training. So that's not free money. That's your own money that the government have been taking from your salary to keep it somewhere so that you can take that money and use later for the trainings or for the, driving license. You cannot take that money. And there is something new now. If you want to use that money, you have to pay 100 euros. That's your money. But if you want to use it now, from last year, if you want to use the money from your professional account of training, you have to pay 100 euros. Man, is that free? That's not free. I want to tell you all of this because I don't want you to be surprised once here in France, because we used to hear a lot of stories about France and social programs, but many people don't really tell us the truth. The truth is that all of the social programs are not really free because we are working in order to get all of those benefits. Yes, there are some people who are not working and who are still benefiting from all of those benefits, but people who are not working are getting advantages of all of that because there are people who are working and who are contributing to the economy and to the other different social programs. So really, France is not an easy country, but is it worth it? Myself, I think it's worth it because coming from Comoros is, let me say, a poor country. There aren't a lot of job opportunities for young people. So me coming to France and working and getting paid every month, it's something, because in Comoros you can still work, but you do 2 months, 3 months without getting your salary because there aren't money. So is France worth it for me? Yes, it is. But depending on where you're coming from, maybe France is not a good country for you to relocate. I'm working night in order to save some money. If you're working at night, you will gain a lot of money comparing to people working in the morning. So my wife is also working. So together we're combining our revenue in order to be able to do uh, our things. But my salary alone, I cannot do anything. So make sure if you come here, especially with your wife, make sure both of you are going to be working, because if you want to rely on one salary, you cannot survive. Really, you cannot survive, especially if you're living in big cities like Paris. Because in Paris, a monthly rent can be something like 1,000 euros. So really, if you want to live in big cities like Paris, Marseille, Lyon, you have to have big salaries, or at least to have some economy from home, or to be rich. But if you are not rich, you're poor like me, make sure if you come to France, you live in the countryside, because the countryside apartments are affordable, life is a little bit affordable. Sure, you won't have, luxury like Paris, but you can have a normal life. So it's gonna help you to smoothly do your transition. But if you want to relocate to France and you choose to live in Paris, believe me, you're gonna suffer. You're gonna suffer a lot. Things are gonna be a little bit easier for you if you are living in the countryside, as this is your first time in France. It's good to choose the countryside, because the countryside, everything is easy. If you're dreaming of coming to France, please welcome, but follow this video and understand that things are not easy here. Things are not easy everywhere in the world if you want to relocate, but in France, I think things are more difficult. So if you come in here, be prepared. Get ready to suffer. If you're not ready to suffer, please don't come, because you're gonna regret. You're gonna regret. If somebody who's lazy, who are not used to, paperwork, bureaucracy, don't come to France, because you're gonna be surprised. You're gonna be traumatized. Thank you for coming. Make sure you always come back to watch my videos, because here we share topics about life in France, about traveling. I'm somebody who has a dream, the dream of traveling the world and see different countries and discover new culture. Coming from Comoros, I wish this dream is gonna become reality, and I wish in this channel you're gonna witness all of that. Thank you. See you in the coming videos. Bye.